وآية لهم الليل نسلخ منه النهار فإذا هم مظلمون والشمس تجري لمستقر لها ذلك تقدير العزيز العليم والقمر قدرناه منازل حتى عاد كالأرجون القديم لا الشمس ينبغي لها أن تدرك القمر ولا الليل سابق النهار وكل في فلك يسبحون وآية لهم أنا حملنا ذريتهم في الفلك المشحون وخلقنا لهم من مثله ما يركبون وإن نشأ نغرقهم فلا صريخ لهم وهم ينقذون إلا رحمة منا ومتاعا إلى حين وإذا قيل لهم اتقوا ما بين أيديكم وما خلفكم لعلكم ترحمون وما تأتيهم من آية من آيات ربهم إلا كانوا عنها معرضين وإذا قيل لهم أنفقوا مما رزقكم الله قال الذين كفروا للذين آمنوا أنطعم من لو يشاء الله أطعمه إن أنتم إلا في ضلال مبين ويقولون متى هذا الوعد إن كنتم صادقين ما ينظرون إلا صيحة واحدة تأخذهم وهم يخصمون فلا يستطيعون توصية ولا إلى أهلهم يرجعون ونفخ في الصور فإذا هم من الأجداث إلى ربهم ينسلون قالوا يا ويلنا من بعثنا من مرقدنا هذا ما وعد الرحمن وصدق المرسلون إن كانت إلا صيحة واحدة فإذا هم جميع لدينا محضرون فاليوم لا تظلم نفس شيئا ولا تجزون إلا ما كنتم تعملون إن أصحاب الجنة اليوم في شغل فاكهون هم وأزواجهم في ظلال على الأرائك متكئون لهم فيها فاكهة ولهم ما يدعون سلام قولا من رب رحيم وامتازوا اليوم أيها المجرمون ألم أعهد إليكم يا بني آدم أن لا تعبدوا الشيطان إنه لكم عدو مبين وأن اعبدون هذا صراط مستقيم ولقد أضل منكم جبيلا كثيرا أفلم تكونوا تعقلون هذه جهنم التي كنتم توعدون اصلوها اليوم بما كنتم تكفرون اليوم نختم على أفواههم وتكلمنا أيديهم وتشهد أرجلهم بما كانوا يكسبون ولو نشاء لطمسنا على أعينهم فاستبقوا الصراط فأنى يبصرون ولو نشاء لمسخناهم على مكانتهم فما استطاعوا مضيئا ولا يرجعون ومن نعمره ننكس في الخلق أفلا يعقلون وما علمناه الشعر وما ينبغي له إن هو إلا ذكر وقرآن مبين لينذر من كان حيا ويحق القول على الكافرين أولم يروا أنا خلقنا لهم مما عملت أيدينا أنعاما فهم لها مالكون وذللناها لهم فمنها ركوبهم ومنها يأكلون ولهم فيها منافع ومشارب أفلا يشكرون واتخذوا من دون الله آلهة لعلهم ينصرون لا يستطيعون نصرهم وهم لهم جند محضرون فلا يحزنك قولهم إنا نعلم ما يسرون وما يعلنون أولم ير الإنسان أنا خلقناه من نطفة فإذا هو خصيم مبين وضرب لنا مثلا ونسي الخلق قال من يحيي العظام وهي رميم قل يحيي الذي أنشأها أول مرة وهو بكل خلق عليم الذي جعل لكم من الشجر الأخضر نارا فإذا أنتم منه توقدون أوليس الذي خلق السماوات والأرض بقادر على أن يخلق مثلهم بلى وهو الخلاق العليم إنما أمره إذا أراد شيئا أن يقول له كن فيكون فسبحان الذي بيده ملكوت كل شيء وإليه ترجعون صدق الله العلي العظيم وصلى الله على سيدنا محمد وآله الطيبين الطاهرين اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد
اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد وعجل فرجهم. يا دائم الفضل على البرية، يا باسط اليدين بالعتية، يا صاحب المواهب الثنية، صل على محمد وآله خير الورى سجية، واغفر لنا يا ذا العلا في هذه العشية. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. اللهم كن لوليك الحجة ابن الحسن صلواتك عليه وعلى آبائه في هذه الساعة وفي كل ساعة وليا وحافظا وقائدا وناصرا ودليلا وعينا، حتى تسكنه أرضك طوعا وتمتعه فيها طويل. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. اللهم إني أسألك برحمتك التي وسعت كل شيء وبقوتك التي قهرت بها كل شيء وخضع لها كل شيء وذل لها كل شيء، وبجبروتك التي غلبت بها كل شيء، وبعزتك التي لا يقوم لها شيء، وبعظمتك التي ملأت كل شيء، وبسلطانك الذي على كل شيء، وبوجهك الباقي بعد فناء كل شيء، وبأسمائك التي ملأت أركان كل شيء، وبعلمك الذي أحاط بكل شيء، وبنور وجهك الذي أضاء له كل شيء. يا نور يا قدوس يا أول الأولين ويا آخر الآخرين، اللهم اغفر لي الذنوب التي تهتك العصام، اللهم اغفر لي الذنوب التي تنزل النقام، اللهم اغفر لي الذنوب التي تغير النعم، اللهم اغفر لي الذنوب التي تحبس الدعاء، اللهم اغفر لي الذنوب التي تنزل البلاء، اللهم اغفر لي كل ذنب أذنبته وكل خطيئة أخطأتها، اللهم إني أتقرب إليك بذكرك وأستشفع بك إلى نفسك، وأسألك بجودك أن تدنيني من قربك وأن توزعني شكرك وأن تلهمني ذكرك. اللهم إني أسألك سؤال خاضع متذلل خاشع أن تسامحني وترحمني وتجعلني بقسمك راضيا قانعا وفي جميع الأحوال متواضعا. اللهم وأسألك سؤال من اشتدت فاقته وأنزل بك عند الشدائد حاجته وعظم فيما عندك رغبته. اللهم عظم سلطانك وعلى مكانك وخفي مكرك وظهر أمرك وغلب قهرك وجرت قدرتك ولا يمكن الفرار من حكومتك. اللهم لا أجد لذنوبي غافرا ولا لقبائه ساترا ولا لشيء من عملي القبيح بالحسن مبدلا غيرك. لا إله إلا أنت سبحانك وبحمدك ظلمت نفسي وتجرأت بجهلي وسكنت إلى قديم ذكرك لي ومنك علي. اللهم مولاي كم من قبيح سترته وكم من فادح من البلاء أقلته وكم من عثار وقيته وكم من مكروه دفعته وكم من ثناء جميل لست أهلا له نشرته. اللهم عظم بلائي وأفرط بي سوء حالي وقصرت بي أعمالي وقعدت بي أغلالي وحبسني عن نفعي بعد أملي فخدعتني الدنيا بغرورها ونفسي بجنايتها ومطالي. يا سيدي فأسألك بعزتك ألا يحجب عنك دعائي سوء عملي وفعالي ولا تفضحني بخفي ما اطلعت عليه من سري ولا تعاجلني بالعقوبة على ما عملته في خلواتي من سوء فعلي وإساءتي ودوام تفريطي وجهالتي وكثرة شهواتي وغفلتي. وكن اللهم بعزتك لي في كل الأحوال رؤوفا وعلي في جميع الأمور عطوفا. إلهي وربي من لي غيرك أسأله كشف ضري والنظر في أمري. إلهي ومولاي أجريت علي حكما اتبعت فيه هوى نفسي ولم أحترس فيه من تزيين عدوي فقرني بما أهوى وأسأله على ذلك القضاء فتجاوزت بما جرى علي من ذلك بعض حدودك وخالفت بعض أوامرك فلك الحمد علي في جميع ذلك ولا حجة لي فيما جرى علي فيه قضاؤك وألزمني حكمك وبلاؤك وقد أتيتك يا إلهي بعد تقصيري وإسرافي وإسرافي على نفسي معتذرا نادما منكسرا مستقيلا مستغفرا منيبا مقرا مذعنا معترفا لا أجد مفرا مما كان مني ولا مفزعا أتوجه إليه في أمري غير قبولك عذري وإدخالك إياي في سعة رحمتك. اللهم فاقبل عذري وارحم شدة ضري وفكني من شد وثاقي. يا رب ارحم ضعف بدني ورقة جلدي ودقة عظمي. يا من بدأ خلقي وذكري وتربيتي وبري وتغذيتي، هبني لابتداء كرمك وسالف برك بي. يا إلهي وسيدي وربي، أتراك معذبي بنارك بعد توحيدك وبعد من طوى عليه قلبي من معرفتك ولهج به لساني من ذكرك واعتقده ضميري من حبك. فبعد صدق اعترافي ودعائي خاضعا لربوبيتك، هيهات أنت أكرم من أن تضيع من ربيت أو تبعد من أدنيت أو تشرد من آويت أو تسلم إلى البلاء من كفيته ورحمته. وليت شعري يا سيدي وإلهي ومولاي، أتسلط النار على وجوه خرت لعظمتك ساجدا وعلى ألسن نطقت بتوحيدك صادقة وبشكرك مادحة وعلى قلوب اعترفت بإلهيتك محققة وعلى ضمائر حوات من العلم بك حتى صارت خاشعة وعلى جوارح سعات إلى أوطان تعبدك طاعية وأشارت باستغفارك مذعنا. ما هكذا الظن بك ولا أخبرنا بفضلك عنك يا كريم يا رب، وأنت تعلم ضعفي عن قليل من بلاء الدنيا وعقوباتها وما يجري فيها من المكاره على أهلها، على أن ذلك بلاء ومكروه قليل مكثوه يسير بقاؤه قصير مدته. فكيف احتمالي لبلاء الآخرة وجليل وقوع المكاره فيها وهو بلاء تطول مدته ويدوم مقامه ولا يخفف عن أهله، لأنه لا يكون إلا عن غضبك وانتقامك وسخطك. وهذا ما لا تقوم له السماوات والأرض. يا سيدي فكيف لي وأنا عبدك الضعيف الذليل الحقير المسكين المستكين. يا إلهي وربي وسيدي ومولاي، لأي الأمور إليك أشكو، ولما منها أضج وأبكي؟ لأليم العذاب وشدته، أم لطول البلاء ومدته؟ فلئن صيرتني للعقوبات مع أعدائك، وجمعت بيني وبين أهل بلائك، وفرقت بيني وبين أحبائك وأوليائك، فهبني يا إلهي وسيدي ومولاي وربي. صبرت على عذابك، فكيف أصبر على فراقك؟ وهبني صبرت على حر نارك، فكيف أصبر عن النظر إلى كرامتك؟ أم كيف أسكن في النار ورجائي عفوك؟ فبعزتك يا سيدي ومولاي أقسم صادقا، لئن تركتني ناطقا لأضجن إليك بين أهلها ضجيج الآملين، ولأصرخن إليك صراخ المستصرخين، ولأبكين عليك بكاء الفاقدين، ولو نادينك أين كنت يا ولي المؤمنين، يا غاية آمال العارفين، يا قياس المستغيثين، يا حبيب قلوب الصادقين، ويا إله العالمين. أفتراك سبحانك يا إلهي وبحمدك تسمع فيها صوت عبد مسلم سجن فيها بمخالفته، وذاق طعم عذابها بمعصيته، فحبس بين أطباقها بجرمه وجريرته، وهو يضج إليك ضجيج مؤمل لرحمتك، ويناديك بلسان أهل توحيدك، ويتوسل إليك بربوبيتك يا مولاي. فكيف يبقى في العذاب وهو يرجو ما سلف من حلمك؟ أم كيف تؤلمه النار وهو يأمل فضلك ورحمتك؟ أم كيف يحرقه لهيبها وأنت تسمع صوته وترى مكانه؟ آمنا بالله، صدق الله العلي العظيم. الله.
بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. إن الله وملائكته يصلون على النبي يا أيها الذين آمنوا صلوا عليه وسلموا تسليما الله أكبر والله أكبر الله أكبر والله أكبر أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله أشهد أن محمدًا رسول الله أشهد أن محمدًا رسول الله أشهد أن عليًا وأبناءه المعصومين بالحق حجج الله أشهد أن عليًا وأبناءه المعصومين بالحق
ومحمد بن علي وعلي بن محمد والحسن بن علي. السلام عليك يا مولانا يا صاحب العصر والزمان. السلام عليك يا شريك القرآن خليفة الرحمن كعبة الإيمان إمام الإنس والجان. عجل الله تعالى فرجك وسحر الله تعالى مخرجك وظهورك. السلام عليكم يا أهل بيت النبوة جميعا ورحمة الله وبركاته.
اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد. اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد. اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد. أفلح من صلى على محمد وآل محمد. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. My brothers and sisters, Jazakum Allah, Alhamdulillah, congratulations to the Ummah of Muhammad, the Ummah of the Prophet Salawatullahi alayhi. Congratulations to Ahlul Bayt alayhim as-salam. Congratulations to you and all of us to celebrate what's called Eid al-Zahra alayhi as-salam, the beautiful festivities of Sayyida Zahra alayhi as-salam. May Allah only bless us with the sorrow of Ahlul Bayt, and inshallah your days are filled with the celebrations, with the smiles of Ahlul Bayt, inshallah for days to come, inshallah. Inshallah. Allah has blessed us with the past few months, and inshallah many more days to come. And the lessons that we learn from Sayyid al-Shuhada that we apply in the good days and the days where we're tested, and we will be tested day in, day out. The patience of Sayyida Zainab, the courage of Aba Fadl Abbas, and there are many of our leaders from Ahlul Bayt. May we take those lessons and apply them day in, day out, and that's really one exercise, inshallah, from the past few months that are instilled and ingrained. First and foremost, our congratulations to the Imam of our time, Imam al-Mahdi Ajjallahu Ta'ala Farajah, on this beautiful day, the day of the commencement of that leadership of his, inshallah. And may we be counted amongst servants, soldiers, preachers of Imam through Imam al-Mahdi Ajjallahu Ta'ala Farajah. Alhamdulillah, we started with Quran, Dua. We were blessed with congregations of Salat al-Maghribain, and I'll call my brother Syed Adil for a few words of manqabat in the honor of Ahlul Bayt alayhim as-salam. Sallu ala Muhammadin wa ali Muhammad.
Salawat Muhammad wa ali Muhammad. Allahumma salli. मददगार सिबते नबी मांगते हैं, कुछ अपने ही जैसा जरी मांगते हैं, कुछ अपने ही जैसा जरी मांगते हैं। ख्याल आ गया है जो करबो बला का, ख्याल आ गया है जो करबो बला का, अली अब अली से अली मांगते हैं, अली अब अली से अली मांगते हैं। ये कलाम इमाम मेहदी के उसमें है। गर हो मेरी हयात मेरे इख्तियार में, सदियाँ गुजार दूंगा तेरे इंतज़ार में। मौला बा पर्दे गैबत उठाइए, 2 दिन तो जिंदगी के गुजारूं बहार में। अल अजल अल अजल या इमाम ज़माना, अल अजल इस वक्त गरचे अदल से खाली ज़मीन है, मज़लूम के मकाम में ज़ालिम मकीन है। दुनिया सितम शिराज है मगरूब दीन है, मौला ज़रूर आएंगे मुझको यकीन है, मुझको यकीन है। आएगी कुछ कमी ना मेरे एतबार में, सदियाँ गुजार दूंगा तेरे इंतज़ार में। अल अजल अल अजल या इमाम ज़माना, अल अजल सब लोग ख्वाहिशात के अब हो गए गुलाम, इब्लीसियत का दौर है बेपर्दगी है आम। पीने लगे लहू है तो खाने लगे हराम, कहता है दिल के बस अभी आ जाइए इमाम, आ जाइए इमाम। गर देर है मशीयत परवरदिगार में, कर खदियाँ गुजार दूंगा तेरे इंतज़ार में। गर हो मेरी हयात मेरे इख्तियार में, सदियाँ गुजार दूंगा तेरे इंतज़ार में। मुश्किल के वक्त हमने पुकारा है या हुसैन, गैबत के इम्तिहान में सहारा है या हुसैन। खुर्रानो अहल बैत का पारा है या हुसैन, हक़ ने हमारे दिल पे उतारा है या हुसैन। रह कर दुआए बिनते नबी के हिसार में, सदियाँ गुजार दूंगा तेरे इंतज़ार में। गर हो मेरी हयात मेरे इख्तियार में, सदियाँ गुजार दूंगा तेरे इंतज़ार में। अल अजल अल अजल या इमाम ज़माना, अल अजल इस दौर पुर ख़तर में है दुश्वार मंजिले, मौला इस इम्तिहान में दिल को सुकून मिले। रोज़ा नमाज व हज के मनासिब अदा करे, हम शाम व करबला की ज़ियारत को जा सके, ज़ियारत को जा सके। अब आ जाएगा करार दिले बेकरार में, सदियाँ गुजार दूंगा तेरे इंतज़ार में। गर हो मेरी हयात मेरे इख्तियार में, सदियाँ गुजार दूंगा तेरे इंतज़ार में। दर पर तुम्हारे होते हैं हर रोज़ मौजज़े, कितने अमीर हो गए इस दर की भीख से। सब अपने अपने हिस्से की खैरात ले गए, ज़िक्र इमाम असर में हिस्सा ख़मर मिले। मैं मुतमई हूँ मैं भी खड़ा हूँ क़तार में, सदियाँ गुजार दूंगा तेरे इंतज़ार में। गर हो मेरी हयात मेरे इख्तियार में सदियां गुजार दूंगा तेरे इंतजार में अल्लाह जल या इमाम ज़माना अल्लाह जल अल्लाहुम्मा सल्ली अला मुहम्मद
اللهم صل على محمد اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد العجل يا مولاي يا صاحب العصر والزمان العجل. In our ziyarah for Imam al-Hussein, we say, ليتنا كنا معكم. We wish, Ya Imam, we were with you. The Imam of our time, we can exercise, inshallah, that pledge of allegiance for Imam al-Hussein, Sayyid al-Shuhada, through our Imam of our time, inshallah. Ajjallahu ta'ala farajah, ya Rab. Inshallah, there's a beautiful voice. Inshallah, he can lift us. He will lift us spiritually. My brother Amin will recite a few words. Whatever those few words are, inshallah, we will be elevated, inshallah, on this blessed night of Thursday. Sallu ala Muhammadin wa ali Muhammad. Allah.
Allahumma salli ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad. Hello everyone and happy Eid. I'm going to recite some, poem for Persian. So, Bismillah. So you can, accompany me with some clapping if it's okay here. I don't know. So. گلی که زیباست گل یاسه گل یاسه گلی که والاست گل یاسه گل یاسه گلی که مصداق تولای حضرت زهراست گل یاسه گل یاسه بیتاب شده تمام عالم از شادی قلب یاس خاتم باز ماه قشنگ ربیعه تبریک میگه خدا به شیعه باز دوباره دلتنگ بقیعه گلی که زیباست گل یاسه گل یاسه گلی که والاست گل یاسه گل یاسه گلی که مصداق تولای حضرت زهراست گل یاسه گل یاسه تا هست غلام حیدر هستم من حیدریم قلندر هستم بر حلقه خاتم نگینه خورشید دلاروی زمینه هم کف امیر مؤمنینه گلی که زیباست گل یاسه گلی که والاست گل یاسه گل یاسه گلی که مصداق تولای حضرت زهراست گل یاسه گل لبخند دوباره روی لب هاست ایام سرور آل طاهاست بازدار زمین ذکر میگیره این کلام حق روز قدیره تو جهان فقط حیدر امیره یا علی شیر خدا حیدر علی حیدر مظهر قالو بلا حیدر علی حیدر حضرت مرتضی مدد مولا یا علی شیر خدا حیدر علی حیدر یا علی شیر خدا حیدر علی حیدر مظهر قالو بلا حیدر علی حیدر حضرت مرتضی علی مولا مدد مولا یا علی شیر خدا حیدر خدا حیدر صلوا علی محمد و آل محمد
وآل محمد اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله وأشهد أن محمدا رسول الله وأشهد أن عليا ولي الله اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد Ya Allah, the love of Ali, alhamdulillah, and his Ahlul Bayt is a blessing. Inshallah, we're appreciative of that blessing, and we can take that blessing, that responsibility, and live up to it as little as we can, inshallah. Jazakumullah, ahsantum. We're celebrating today. I want to recite Surah Al-Fatiha for those that due to evil in this world are not able to celebrate. Inshallah, their status is with Ahlul Bayt, among the shadows of Ahlul Bayt, wherever they are, the Hazaras, the in Yemen, wherever you can think of, and they're across the world, wherever there is the oppressed. Surah Al-Fatiha, remember Yawm Ar-Rahmeen on this Thursday night, Ar Marhameen, inshallah. Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim, alhamdulillah, Rabbil Alameen, ar-Rahman ar-Rahim, Maliki yawmiddin, Iyaka na'budu wa Iyaka nasta'in. And let's appreciate this blessing that we're able to smile and enjoy, and let's enjoy it, alhamdulillah. Today we have Syed Haider Zaidi. He was with us a few weeks ago, and today on this blessed occasion, Syed, jazakumullah for being here, and may Allah elevate your status and knowledge and your family, inshallah, and bless us with some words of wisdom, inshallah, Sayyidina. أفلح من صلى على محمد وآل محمد. اللهم
اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد رب اشرح لي صدري ويسر لي أمري واحلل عقدة من لساني يفقه قولي أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله رب العالمين والصلاة والسلام على أشرف الأنبياء والمرسلين سيدنا ومولانا أبي القاسم محمد اللهم صل على محمد وعلى أهل بيته الطيبين الطاهرين المعصومين المظلومين الغر الميامين ولعنة الدائمة الباقية على أعدائهم أجمعين من الآن إلى يوم الدين أما بعد فقد قال الله سبحانه وتعالى في كتابه المبين بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم برأت من الله ورسوله من الذين آحدتم من المشركين صدق الله العلي العظيم صلوات على محمد وآل محمد اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Eid Mubarak to every one of you that is listening to this lecture and to every believer around the world. This is Eid Farhatul Zahra, salamullah alayha. Farhatul Zahra, the day when Sayyidah Zahra, salamullah alayha, got happy with whatever thing took place. So it's a moment of joy for Sayyidah Zahra, so naturally it's a moment of joy for us too. We pray Allah Almighty, inshallah, by the wasila of the day that has passed, by the wasila of this majlis, by the wasila of Ahlul Bayt, alayhimus salam, inshallah. May Allah hasten the dhuhur of Imam Sahibul Zaman. May Allah make us among His companion, among His followers, among His close ones. We ask Allah Almighty to forgive our marhameen. We ask Allah Almighty to fulfill all of our hajat. Salawat ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad. Allahumma salli ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad. Honestly, it's a huge honor for me to speak on the topic which is really associated with this day, with 9th of Dhul Hajj. We have Eid al-Ghadir, right, which is on 18th of Dhul Hajj, this 9th of Rabi-ul-Awwal. We have Eid al-Ghadir al-Thani, as they say, the second Eid al-Ghadir, you know. So one is associated with our love and devotion for Ahlul Bayt, and the second one is devoted for our disassociation with the enemies of Ahlul Bayt, right? So today, inshallah, I'm going to talk about a little bit about this topic of disassociating yourself, having remorse towards whom? Towards the enemies of Ahlul Bayt alayhimus salam, right? It's a really sensitive topic, and inshallah, I'm going to quote some of the hadiths, I'm going to quote some of the verses of the Quran, because you see, like, people around us in social media and people that don't believe in the message of Ahlul Bayt, they generally criticize the followers of Ahlul Bayt. What is the criticism that generally come across? These are the people that disrespect companions, right? In Urdu, what do they call? They call it Gustakhe Sahaba, right? They kind of like abuse some of the companions. And when you meet like an Arab, they would call you what? Ya Rafidi, Ya Sabba Sahaba, or someone who curses Sahaba, curses companion, right? So you have like different titles that they have given to us. And they don't go into a lot of depth. Inshallah, I'm going to explain what is the concept of this disassociation that we have with the enemies. It is called what? Usually, when you read in your diniyat, it is called what? In Urdu, we call it tabarra, right? Tabarra, right? In Arabic, we call it what? Min bab tafa'ul at-tabarri, right? Having yourself disassociated with some personalities, not everyone, but some personalities, right? That had hatred towards whom? Towards Ahlul Bayt alayhimus salam. So inshallah, in this lecture, we would analyze, we would go into this depth. Is disassociating ourselves or tabarra, does this go against the concept of Quran or the concept of the hadith that we have? And you know, some of the voices that were coming 20 years back, 30 years back was from where? Were from the enemies of Ahlul Bayt. But unfortunately, within our Shias, you have some people that, you know, they have problem when we try to like show our animosity against the people that have committed crimes against whom? Against Ahlul Bayt alayhimus salam. You know, if you ask them like, what is your concept about the people that went to Saqifa and they did whatever they did? People are just like, you know, like, I don't talk about these topics. They were human beings. They committed mistakes. No. If Yazid committed a mistake, if Muawiyah committed a mistake, and we disassociate ourselves with those two people, so the people that were responsible for bringing Yazid and Muawiyah, they are more worthy of our curses than anyone else. Do you get my point, right? That's why we always have this concept. فَلَعْنَ اللَّهُ أَوَّلَ ظَالِمٍ ظَلَمَ حَقَّ مُحَمَّدْ وَآلِ مُحَمَّدْ. Right? You know, Zyarat Ashur is a manual for us. Zyarat Ashur, some of the scholars, let me just quote you this. Because nowadays, inshallah, I don't want to go into the inter-Shia debates. Unfortunately, I don't want to go into it. But this Ziyarah is really authentic. Sheikh Muslim Dawawiri is a huge scholar of Rijal. He has written a whole book proving the authenticity of Zyarat Ashur. Right? Likewise, Ziyaratul Arba'in, you have same concept. Likewise, so many reports that we have, so many traditions that we have from Ahlul Bayt alayhimus salam that emphasize on the topic of disassociating with whom? With not only Muawiyah, with not only Marwan, with not only Yazid, with not only the tyrannical regime of the time that killed Imam Hussein alayhi salatu wasalam. It also says to disassociate ourselves from the people that were responsible for bringing them. Are we sure on that? Inshallah. It's a topic that is a little bit difficult, but inshallah we will try to take the verses of the Quran and also inshallah from the sayings of Ahlul Bayt, and inshallah with these two thaqlain, with this thaqlain inshallah we will be able to go through this pathway safely inshallah. Salawat ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad. Allahumma salli ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad. One thing that I really want to mention here before I would try to give some proofs regarding the point that I'm going to mention, there's a difference about disassociating yourself and difference in cursing someone. We don't curse the people, right? What Amir al-Mu'mineen alayhi salatu wasalam said in Nahjul Balagha. Go to sermon number 207. And there are some reports. Some of the really close companions of Amir al-Mu'mineen were saying some bad words about whom? About Ahlul Sham, right? Bad words means something which, swearing and using those kind of words. Amir al-Mu'mineen says what? أَكْرَهُ أَن تَكُونُوا مِنَ السَّبَّابِينَ. I don't like, all you my people, all my followers, to be the one that curses others. Are we sure? We don't have to, we can never curse other people, even though we might have animosity against them. Are we clear on this? But what the topic that we are talking about is bara'ah. Bara'at. In Urdu we say bara'at. In Urdu, in Arabic, what do we call bara'ah? What does that mean? It means to renounce someone, to not be part of something, right? Let me go to one of the first verse of Surah At-Tawbah. We call it what? Surah At-Tawbah? But it is called what? Surah Al-Fadhiha. The people that would know Arabic, they would understand what fadhiha means. There's one thing called fadila, and there is a complete opposite of that fadila, which is called fadhiha, which means exposing someone, exposing the negative traits that people had, right? Fadhiha. In Urdu, we call what? Buraya, buri khaslate. So that's called fadhiha. This surah is also called what? Suratul Bara'ah. Go and inshallah, go and read any Sunni or Shia tafsir. Generally, when they start writing tafsir about any surah, they would mention the names of that specific surah. Like you have Suratul Isra, it's also called what? Surah Bani Israel. Suratul Hamd is also called what? Fatihatul Kitab. Qul Huwallahu Ahad is also called what? Suratul Ikhlas. Right? Suratul Dahr is also called what? Suratul Insan. Right? Are you following me? Right? So likewise, we have different names of one surah. That different name is also one of the name of surah. The 9th chapter is what? Suratul Bara'ah. Disassociating yourself from the enemies of Allah. That's why the first the first word that is used is what? Bara'atum min Allah wa rasulihi min alladhina ahadtum min al-mushrikeen. That Allah is disassociating himself. Allah is doing bara'ah. Allah is doing tabarra with whom? And his prophet is doing tabarra with whom? With the people that are associating partners with Allah. That's one ayah. And the second ayah, which is really important. That ayah is basically giving the believers the role models that they need to follow. What does the ayah say? قَدْ كَانَتْ لَكُمْ أسوة حسنة في إبراهيم والذين معه. Therefore you, all the believers, if you want to follow someone as an example, if you want to follow someone as your role model, who are your role model? It is Ibrahim and the believers that were with Ibrahim. إذ قالوا لقومهم, when they were having a conversation with whom? With the people, with their own people. What did they say? نحن براء منكم ومما تعبدون من دون الله. That we disassociate ourselves. براء, right? We disassociate ourselves with you and with the idols that you are worshipping. كفرنا بكم وَبَدَأَ بَيْنَنَا وَبَيْنَكُمُ الْعَدَاوَةَ وَالْبَغْضَاءَ حَتَّى أَبَدًا حَتَّى تُؤْمِنُوا بِاللَّهِ وَحْدَهُ. That we are renouncing with whatever idols that you worship. And a bond of animosity is being created between us and between you. And this bond of animosity would never be ceased unless or until you believe in only one Allah, no other idol worshipping. Right? So what does this say to you? It clearly tells you the importance that we need to have regarding having the animosity towards the enemies of Allah. Enemies of Allah. Right? And it also gives you a really important concept. MashaAllah, I was wallahi ladhim. Uqsam billah, like, sorry to Allah, that I was so impressed. When I came here, someone reading in Urdu. MashaAllah, my brother is from an Arab background, and someone coming from a Persian background reciting a poetry, right? MashaAllah, amazing, amazing work, MashaAllah. I have been to Saskatoon too. There too, you have a mixed community right there. There are some Pakistanis, there's some people from Hazara, there are some people from Iran, there are some people from Afghanistan, there are some Arabs too. All of them are coming in and they commemorate the message of Ahlul Bayt alayhimus salam together. And they celebrate together, mashallah. This is the first step. Mashallah, like, I'm coming from an area where I only see Pakistani and Indians. That's it, wherever I go. Why? Because the centers that I go, it's only strictly Urdu centers, or strictly Arabic centers, or strictly Persian centers, right? And wallahi ladhim, I don't have any problem with that. When you have so many people, when you have a huge crowd that only wants to listen the message in a specific language, there's no problem, of course, right? All of the languages are propagating the message of Abu Abdullah. We are clear on that, right? But still, mashallah, this masjid is something that is a role model, and this is just the beginning, This is not the end. So mashallah, this praise was to motivate you all to go a little bit further. In the old times, we had masajid where we would just come and pray, right? We had some masajid like this. We have some Imam Bargah, some Hussainiya, where you would just come like for 10 days, maybe like for like 30 days in a year, maybe like for 60 days, some programs in Ramadan, some programs in Safar, some programs in Muharram, and some Wilada Shahada here and there. But that should not be the case here. This should always be a central place where people would come in and they would always be thinking about Thursday nights. We want to come and be with our friends and be within our circles on Thursday night. And this masjid should not only be the place for worship. I went to Ottawa. Sorry, I'm not kind of a person that will quote you the incidents that happened with me, right? But here and there, something that we can relate here, right? The Ibrahim alayhi salatu wasalam was not only the person that was having the communication with the people that were not believing the message of Allah. Ibrahim وَالَّذِينَ مَعَهُ. It was Ibrahim too and the believers that were with Ibrahim. So how would you have this sense of community within each other? If you would always look forward to come and have time with each other. If you would always be a source of networking for your fellow believer. When a new person would move to Kitchener-Waterloo, right? I was really glad. My wife came in last week. She told me, as soon as someone saw me, they didn't recognize me. They were like, are you new? Did you come here for the first time? MashaAllah. MashaAllah, this is so good. The centers that I go, here, there are so many people, they don't even know each other, right? But here, mashallah, this should continue. But this is only a beginning. This place should be the place where you would come in. If you have a problem with your job, there should be a central place. Okay, this is my resume. Is there anyone that you can connect me and I can have, some sort of conversation? I can give my resume, he can look into it, and he can let me know what improvements can I make, what places can I go, some sort of guidance that I can get, right? So inshallah, my du'as and my wishes is that inshallah in few years when we come here, we would have these kind of conversations coming in. If someone wants to play, the believers, they should play with each other. Like this place should not be strictly like place of worship. Maybe on Friday night or Wednesday night or on Saturday night, you guys can come together and you guys can, some sort of social gathering. I went to Ottawa, the place where I was mentioning. They had a whole night in which Maulana was playing too and non-Maulanas were playing too. Right? Some sort of gathering. We always don't have to give lectures to my younger brothers and sisters that are sitting here. Do this, do this. Wudu, you have to start like this, and you have to end like this. Try to start from a little bit upper part of the elbow. MashaAllah, this is important. This is really important. But this should not only be the way that I should define my Shiism. When Prophet used to, they would have a conversation. When Prophet would used to have important conversation, he wouldn't have in any courtyard. He wouldn't go to any of the randomest place. He would have the most important of conversation in masjid. In masjid. Masjidun Nabawi. When Amir al-Mu'mineen alayhi salatu wassalam, he went and he met Aqil alayhi salam. What did the conversation that you listen every time on 8th of Muharram or the night of Abbas alayhi salatu wassalam? Where was that conversation? Where did it take place? And apart from that, where would Aqil used to sit and would tell people about their lineage? Would he sit somewhere in like Saqifa? Would he sit somewhere in other areas? No. He would sit right in the center of the masjid and would try to educate the people around those areas, right? We have one center in Brampton. One last thing, inshallah, I want to move really quickly to my topic. One last thing. This sense of belonging that we have, that we got from Ibrahim and his... Assalamu alaikum rahmatullah. The sense of belonging that we got from Ibrahim and the believers, right? In mashallah, in one of the center in Brampton, right? They have educational courses for free for the believers. IT courses, language courses. They would devote their time. The people would come there. So the masjid is not only a place where you would only learn Quran. It's not only a place where you would learn something about your fiqh, something about your creed. It's a place where you would have everything that you need. Inshallah. That should be the ideal concept of the masjid. Are we there? Of course not. Should we be trying our best to go there? Of course, yes. Yes. Right? It's a process. It's a slow process. But inshallah, it goes from 2 people, from 2 to 4, 4 to 8, like that, inshallah. Salawat ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad. I wish if I can speak a lot and I can speak for like half an hour, 45 minutes more, but I'm really restricted with the time because I have to go and I have to recite another program there, inshallah. So really quickly coming to the topic. So we have already quoted the verses of Quran. Do you guys want to listen to some of the reports that we have from Ahlul Bayt alayhimus salam? A person came and inshallah I'm going to translate, and every reference that I'm giving, I'm responsible for the references. Anyone can come to me and can ask me the Arabic code for the references I'm quoting, and inshallah if they need a scan, if they need the name of the book, the chapter name, the page number, everything is upon my head. Nothing I'm reading than what I have come across the reports of Ahlul Bayt alayhimus salam. It's a sensitive topic. I don't want any of you that after listening to this lecture, they would go to front of like any Sunni mosque and they start screaming like bar bar bar, We don't want that. But at least we should be ideologically clear. These are called Asrar Ali Muhammad. What are Asrar Ali Muhammad? Some of the hadiths that are only for the Shias, not for non-Shias. Right? But that's why I only chose last 15 to 20 minutes. Even if this lecture is not uploaded, it doesn't matter. I'm not going to say anything controversial, but still, right? There was a person that came to Imam Sadiq alayhi salatu wassalam. Allahumma salli ala Muhammad. He talked about someone. At that time, they had a problem where people would have love of Ahlul Bayt. Along with the love of Ahlul Bayt, they wouldn't disassociate themselves with the enemies of Ahlul Bayt. So what does the riwayah says? What does the report says? Inna fulanan yu'alikum. That there is a person that has this immense love for Ahlul Bayt, for the household of the Prophet. Illa annahu yastad'afu fil bara'ati min aduwikum. But the problem is that he doesn't disassociate himself. He doesn't do tabarra with whom? With the enemies of Ahlul Bayt. Imam said a really important line. Imam said, hayhat, hayhat. You know, mashallah, the people that would generally would view the sermons of Imam Hussein. What does Imam Hussein say? على أن الدعي ابن دعي قد ركزني بين السلة والذلة وهيهات من الذلة. Right? We have this. You know, mashallah, our political leaders, they use this line too. Hayat. Hayat means that certain things are really far away from us. They don't even come near to us. Hayat min dhilla. The dhilla, the embarrassment, right? It is far away from us. Right? Likewise, what does Imam Sadiq alayhi salatu wasalam is saying? Hayhat. Hayhat. Imam said it 2 times. Kadhiba. Man idda'a mahabbatana walam yatabarra min aduwina. That person is a liar that claims that he loves us, but he doesn't disassociate himself. He doesn't do tabarra with whom? With the enemies of us. How important it is for my believers, for my younger brothers and sisters. We need to have gatherings in order for us to be taught what happened in Saqifa, what happened in the calamity of Thursday. You know, there is a whole book that Tijani Samawi, Sheikh Tijani Samawi, no? Someone who converted. He was, I think, from North Africa. He converted to Shia Islam. And he was someone that is still really respectful within the Maraji, right? He met Sayyid Khouy, he met Sayyid Baqr al-Sadr, he met so many scholars, so many Marajis, right? He has a whole book which is called what? Calamity of Thursday. Go and read what happened on Calamity of Thursday. When Prophet was asking for pen and paper, who was the person that said, Inna rajul la yahjur? That this person is speaking delirious stuff, nonsensical stuff, gibberish. Who was the one? If we don't educate our youth now, what would happen 30 years later? What would happen the generation later? They would say, this was radiyallahu too, this was radiyallahu too. One made mistake, one was right. 2 radiyallah, one did ijtihad, they'll get 2 rewards because they did the right ijtihad. The other one was by mistake, he or she did the wrong ijtihad, they'll get 1 mistake. No. Go and read the books of Sheikh Tusi, Kitab al-Iqtisad. The whole book he has written only on the topic of Aqidah. Go and read the book of Sheikh Mufid when he talks about the people that went against Amir al-Mu'mineen alayhi salatu wassalam, the Bughat. Right? Go and read these books. I'm not talking about the present day scholars. I'm talking about the scholars that we all agree upon. Go and read the books of Sheikh Kulayni when he writes in Al-Kafi, the traditions that he's mentioning, in Al-Usul Al-Kafi, in Furu' Al-Kafi, in Rawdat Al-Kafi. Some of the really dangerous traditions that I can only quote through the private gatherings, right? But I'm trying to quote it really symbolically and really general stuff. Nothing really specific. The disassociation is important, right? That's one hadith. The second hadith, and this hadith is dangerous, right? Before I do that, I want to quote the same hadith from the same Imam. Imam Rada alayhi salatu wassalam. Allahumma salli ala Muhammad. He says, Kamaluddin, the essence of the religion, the pinnacle of the religion, the pinnacle of following the deen. We have a whole book which is called by Sheikh Suduq what? Kamaluddin wa Itmamun Ni'mah. It's a beautiful book. Inshallah, if people that know Arabic and Urdu, they can probably go and refer. Even the people that know Persian, not sure if it's translated into English. Beautiful book about the topic of ghaiba. Kamaluddin. Imam Rada alayhi salatu wasalam said, Kamaluddin. What is Kamaluddin? Wilayatuna wal bara'atu min aduwina. That if you want to follow deen inclusively, have the wilaya of us. Make sure that you take us what? Guardians. Wal bara'atu min aduwina. And have the bara'a against whom? Against our enemies. And then Imam quotes further too. Imam says that you can never have our pure love unless or until you don't disassociate with our enemies. And Imam said at the end, وَلَا تَأْخُذُوا بِكَ رَأْفَةٌ فِي عَدُوِّنَا. And never have soft corner when it comes to our enemies. No soft corner. No. Yes, I will not disrespect them because our Maraji have given us some sense of akhlaq, the way we need to interact with the people. But does that mean I need to respect them? No, I will never respect them. If I don't respect someone who killed Imam Hussein, if I wouldn't respect someone who killed Imam Zainul Abidin, how would you expect me to respect someone that killed Sayyidah Zahra? Go and read the books. If you don't believe me, read the books of Kitab al-Ihtijaj al-Shaykh Tabrasi. Beautiful book. Kitab Sulaym ibn Qais. Right? Dala'il al-Imama by Tabari al-Saghir. Tabari al-Saghir. Likewise, you have Al-Imama wa Siyasa by a Sunni scholar. His name is what? Ibn Qutayba. Go and read the book Tarikh al-Tabari. Go and read the book Al-Aqd al-Farid. All of these references, you would see who were the people that were responsible for attacking the house of Zahra salamullah alayhi. You know, within the taqiyya mode, sometimes we're not even able to mention the report that we have for this blessed day. There's a reason it's called Eid Farhat al-Zahra. Why Eid al-Zahra? Why not any randomest of Eid? Go and see Zadul Ma'ad of Allama Majlisi. Go and read Bihar. Not even on one place, but more than one place. Go and read the book of Hilli. Go and read so many other books that you have. And that would tell you there's 72 names of this day. 72 names of this day. And one of the days, one of the name is what? This, by the way, this tradition is quoted by whom? Ahmad bin Ishaq al-Qummi. The same person who also witnessed Imam Sahib al-Zaman. The same person who was so close to Imam Hassan al-Askari. The same person who was close to the later Imams. He's not a normal figure. One time he came in and he said, I have confusions. When I have confusion, who should I refer? Then Imam Hassan al-Askari said, what? Al-Amari, thiqati. Al-Amari is what? The first representative of Imam Sahib al-Zaman. Right? Inshallah, Abu Amr al-Amari. I don't want to go into it. But someone who is really respectful. Ahmad bin Ishaq al-Qummi went and he saw Imam Hassan al-Askari celebrating on the night of Rabi-ul-Awwal. He said, Mawla, what happened? What's so special about it? He said, I heard from my father, Imam Naqi. And then the chain went and then it went all the way to the Prophet. And there was a reason it's called what? Yawmul Baqar. Yawmul Baqar means what? Baqar means if you would put some things into pieces. It's called Baqar. Baqar means torna, khatam karna, right? Something like this, right? Yawmul Baqar. There's a reason it's called Yawmul Baqar. Go and see the conversation that Sayyidah Zahra had with the killer. Sayyidah Zahra said, the way you have overthrown the writing that contains the will of my father, may Allah do the same with your stomach. Allahumma salli Muhammad. Shall I have like 5-10 minutes? I want to go one or two more reports, right? So Imam Rada alayhi salatu wassalam. Inna mimman yattakhidhu. The reason I'm quoting the Arabic text is not something that I have seen from like these secondary or third books. Everything from primary sources. Inna mimman yattakhidhu mawaddati ahli baytina. That there are some people that proclaim our love. Do you want to listen to the second word? It says, Ashaddu la'natan min Allahi min ad-Dajjal. Ashaddu la'na. That they are more worthy of the wrath of Allah, of the anger of Allah, than Dajjal. Oh my God, Dajjal, like someone more than Dajjal? Say, Yabna Rasulillah. Oh, the son of the Prophet. Who are these people you're talking about? Important line, important line. Imam says those are the people that claim our muhabbat, that claim our wilaya, that claim our love. But who are these people? These are the same people. اتخاذوا مودة أعدائنا وموالاة مودة أعدائنا ومعاداة أوليائنا. that these are the people that have soft corner, that have love for our enemies, and they have hatred for our fellow Shias. You can see so many people, I don't want to go, see social media. You would have people that are always criticizing Shias, that have, mashallah, white or black turban on their head. They're criticizing Shias, right? But they have soft corners for whom? For the enemies of Ahlul Bayt. Right? Yeah. Right, go. These are not my words. Imam al-Radha. Then Imam Radha said an important line. فَإِذَا كَانَ كَذَلِكَ, if this happens, اشْتَبَهُ الْحَقْ بِالْبَاطِلِ, both the truth and falsehood, it mixes. وَلَمْ يُعْرَفُ الْمُؤْمِنِ مِنَ الْمُنَافِقِ, and you would not be able to recognize the mu'min from a munafiq, from a hypocrite. Allahumma salli ala Muhammad. I'm pretty sure that this lecture would be a little bit difficult for even for me to deliver, right? Well, difficult lecture, wallahi ladhim. I had to basically think so many times before I was thinking to deliver or not. I was just like, this is part of Amar bil Ma'ruf and Nahy anil Munkar. Maybe once in a year, we should have a lecture about what happened to Ahlul Bayt by the enemies of Ahlul Bayt. Right? What actually happened? What are the riwayas we have? What are the reports we have? So many lines we have. Ashhadu anna bikum wa bi'iyabikum mu'min. And then you go further and further. Like not only in Zaratul Arba'in, even in Zaratul Ashura. You have so many lines where you are saying that I disassociate myself with whom? With enemies of Ahlul Bayt alayhimus salam. You know, there was a person that came to Imam Baqir alayhi salatu wassalam. Allahumma salli ala Muhammad. And Imam is talking about the essence of worshipping Allah. I really want all of you to concentrate on this point. إِنَّمَا يَعْبُدُ اللَّهَ مَنْ يَعْرِفُ اللَّهِ, that only that person worships Allah in the proper manner who have some understanding of Allah Almighty. Of course, we can never have complete understanding, but a basic understanding of Allah. And then Imam says something, that anyone who doesn't have basic understanding of Allah, then whatever he worships, he's just going into misguidance. And he's going into misguidance. Then someone asked Mawla, what do you mean by knowing Allah Almighty? We clear? What do you mean by knowing Allah Almighty? Imam says, Tasdeequ billah, you know, testifying with whatever message Allah has given, wa tasdeequ rasulihi, and always testifying whatever Prophet has brought forward. And then Imam says, wa muwalatu aliyin, and having the love of Amir al-Mu'mineen alayhi salatu wassalam, wal i'timamu bihi, and taking him, not just the normal love, taking him as an imam. وَبِأَئِمَّةِ الْهُدَى, and the imams that will follow Amir al-Mu'mineen alayhi salatu wassalam. And then Imam said last time, وَالْبَرَاءَةُ مِنْ عَدُوِّهِمْ, and having dissociation with whom? With the enemies of Ahlul Bayt alayhimus salam. هَكَذَا يُعْرَفُ اللَّهِ, this is the way you would be able to worship properly. You know, when Imam Radha alayhi salatu wasalam went, what did he say? La ilaha illallah hisni, faman dakhala hisni amina min adabi. We all know this, that this la ilaha illallah is my castle. Anyone who comes in my castle, he's safe from my wrath, he's safe from my anger. But then Imam Radha alayhi salatu wasalam, then he came back again. He said, bishartin wa shurutiha, but there are some conditions that are attached to this saying of La ilaha illallah, wa ana min shurutiha, and I am one of the conditions of La ilaha illallah. Right? So likewise, if we have the conditions of La ilaha illallah, likewise, we have conditions of understanding who Allah is. If we would try to understand Allah without Ahlul Bayt, Allah without disassociating with the enemies of Ahlul Bayt, there won't be a difference between us and Ash'ira. There would not be any difference between us and Salafis. Right? Ibn Taymiyyah, someone who has written a lot. Ibn Taymiyyah has a book, Minhaj al-Sunnah, that he wrote against Shias, 8 volumes book, Minhaj al-Sunnah. Likewise, he has some other books too, that he has written against the Shias, against the Sha'ira, against so many people. He was of this opinion, if Allah wants, Allah can even go on top of a mosquito and would fly. So you might have tawheed like this, right? And they have a hadith, a strange hadith they have. Ani ibn Abbas, Sami'tu Rasulullah, Inna Rabbi, Ra'aytu Rabbi, fi surati shabin amrat. That I saw Allah as a beardless man. What kind of tawheed is this? If you wouldn't follow Ahlul Bayt, if you wouldn't dissociate with yourself with the enemies of Ahlul Bayt, then your tawheed would be like this. Sayyid Murtada Askari rahmatullahi alayhi, inshallah I want to finish this topic really quickly. Sayyid Murtada Askari, he basically made a comparison between, there are two kinds of Kitab al-Tawheed. One Kitab al-Tawheed that Sheikh Suduq has written, beautiful book. I would recommend everyone, if they can have time, read this book. And there's a Kitab al-Tawheed that Ibn Khuzaymah has written. Ibn Khuzaymah is a Sunni scholar, is a Salafi scholar. He has a book, Sahih Ibn Khuzaymah. He has a lot of books. So he made a comparison between the hadith that Imam alayhimus salam have given us and the hadith that Ibn Khuzaymah has quoted. So Ibn Khuzaymah has actually proven everything. He has quoted quote unquote a hadith, and he has proven Allah has physical hands, Allah has physical eyes, Allah has physical face, Allah has physical legs, Allah has physically everything. And there's a scholar that they have. He would say, ask me about all the body parts of Allah, everything, and don't ask me about the private parts of Allah. See, Shahrustani, Al-Milal wal-Nahal. Go. I'm not making a joke here. Al-Milal wal-Nahal, Shahrustani. This is the tawheed that you would get if you would not believe in the wilayah of Ahlul Bayt. And if you try to take your deen from the enemies. One last hadith, inshallah, I will finish my topic. The last hadith is it's quoted by in Shifa al-Sudur. It's a commentary that a scholar has written on Zyarat Ashur. Imam Sadiq alayhi salatu wasalam, you might have heard this too. Allahumma salli ala Muhammad. So Imam has given 2 pieces of cloth, and he has given to a tailor. He has asked them to sew both of them. Darzi ko diya, dono ko sina, right? Little bit, I always want to add a little bit Urdu touch too, because sometimes you will only get the message on Urdu touch, right? But inshallah. So one tailor has to sew 2 clothes, 2 pieces, right? Imam came in to grab his clothes, right? He said, I have sewed 2 of your jubbas or whatever Imam has given us. And once I was doing one of it, I was reciting Salawat ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad, right? Allahumma salli ala Muhammad. And the other one that I was doing, I was sending la'an of Allah onto the enemies of yours. Which one you want to wear first? Imam said, I will take the one that you were sending the la'an on the enemies of Ahlul Bayt. Right? So, everything has a time and place. I'm not saying mutlaq. Sometimes, like we always have to see where you are living in. Sometimes a different kind, like sometimes talking about Tawheed is more important than talking about Nabuwa and Imama. Sometimes if you are within people that actually believe in Tawheed, talking about Nabuwa is more important than talking about any other topic. So things changes and it depends in the society where you're living in. But I just want one message that you can take for the whole year, and that will be my request inshallah, is never ever have soft corners for the enemies of Zahra salamullah alayha. That's it. Never. Do we have to go and speak loudly for the tabarra that we have in our heart? I would say it's not for everyone. It's not even safe to do it. And it will be easier for me to say here, and the problem would be in Afghanistan, problem would be in Pakistan, problem would be in Iraq, right? It's easy for me to say here because no one would say to me anything, right? But we still have to make sure that we have to give the message to the young people here. Young people. They should not be the people that would grow up and they'll be like, yeah, Zakireen karte hain ye. Shura Khan karte hain. No, this is the thing that Ahlul Bayt used to do it. If you have problem with tabarra, you have problem with Ahlul Bayt. You have problem with Quran. If Quran has said uswatul hasana to someone, it's the Prophet and also to Ibrahim and the fellow believers. And Allah has only mentioned one trait of Ibrahim and the believers, as I mentioned. It was the bara'ah that they used to do with the enemies of Allah. So are we clear, inshallah, my youngsters? We have to read the books of Tijani Samawi, of the other Allah Majlisi. Hayatul Qulub is translated into English. There are a lot of good books, and one book, if you can read, if you want to know what happened after the Prophet, is Kitab Sulaym ibn Qais. Right? Inshallah, I have a whole lecture proving the authenticity of the book and whatever events took place, but that is in Urdu, inshallah. One day we can talk about Kitab Sulaym in depth, right? But this book is a little bit translated into English. And the riwayas that are in Kitab Sulaym is not only in Kitab Sulaym. There are like 100 of books. One book that I would really recommend you is from Sayyid Ja'far Murtada Amli about the tragedy that happened with Sayyidah Zahra, Ma'asatul Zahra. 2 volumes book. He has only written to prove the multiplicity of the event that took place, the tawatur of the event that took place with Sayyidah Zahra. He has quoted so many books, Al-Ikhtisas of Sheikh Mufid, Dalail al-Imama, he has quoted Al-Ihtijaj, he has quoted Kitab Sulaym, he has quoted so many reports that I cannot mention all of the reports here, right? But it's a homework, it's a thing that we all need to do. Book is in alislam.org. You can always download that. It's in PDF and other sources too. But please, 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 never ever have soft corners for the enemies of Ahlul Bayt alayhimus salam. We ask Allah Almighty to inshallah accept our ibadah. We ask Allah Almighty to, Ya Allah, give us this rizq, give us this blessing to have animosity and hatred for the enemies of Ahlul Bayt. And may Allah inshallah always keep us towards the path of Ahlul Bayt alayhimus salam. Salawat ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad.
Jazakum Allah, Sayyidina, Ahsantum, Jazakum Allah. On the Eid of Ghadir, there was this poem that was on YouTube and everywhere. It said, Alhamdulillah, alladhi ja'alana min al-mutamassikin biwilayati Amir al-Mu'mineen. Inshallah. And I'd like to end with this short dua. It's dua of ma'rifah during the time of our occultation. I'll read the Arabic and the English, inshallah, and we'll commence this beautiful majlis. اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد اللهم عرفني نفسك فإنك إن لم تعرفني نفسك لم أعرف رسولك اللهم عرفني رسولك فإنك إن لم تعرفني رسولك لم أعرف حجتك اللهم عرفني حجتك فإنك إن لم تعرفني حجتك ضللت عن ديني. And quickly in English, Ya Allah, introduce me to yourself, for if I do not know you or not get the introduction of you, I will not recognize your Prophet salawatullah alayhi. Ya Allah, help me recognize your Prophet, for if I do not recognize your Prophet, I will not recognize your proof, the Hujjah. Ya Allah, help me recognize the proof, the Hujjah, Al-Qa'im. For if I do not recognize the proof, your proof, I will deviate from religion, and inshallah we're among those that we will recognize our Imam, our Rasul, and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala through these beautiful majalis. Let's recite together dua al-faraj, inshallah. Allahumma salli ala Muhammadin wa ali Muhammad. Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Allahumma kun li waliyika al-hujjata ibn al-Hasan. Salawatuka alayhi wa ala aba'ih. Fi hadhihi as-sa'a wa fi kulli sa'a. وليا وحافظا وقائدا وناصرا ودليلا وعينا حتى تسكنه وتمتعه فيها طويلا برحمتك يا أرحم الراحمين. اللهم صل على